Hey y'all. All right. Let's see if we can get. All right. Invitation just sent.
Okay, I am on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but weirdly enough, I can't see you.
Oh my goodness.
I know. Let's look at see how this works. Okay. So let me
Here.
do your let me I'm hearing some feedback. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna do an introduction again because Instagram being rude today. All right. So you can hear me though, and you can see me?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So today, not only are we celebrating Mom and Pop Business Owners Day by highlighting a dope local business, but today we have our YAP Alumni of the Month, Saraijah Barnes, here, owner of Brown Sugar Coffee LLC. And she is a passionate advocate for social emotional wellness, embarked on her journey with a solid foundation in sociology and law. Her academic prowess became the bedrock for her entrepreneurial spirit, fueled by a vision to bridge the gap between people of color and wellness. She founded her own enterprise, Brown Sugar and Coffee LLC, channeling her energy into organizing impactful wellness events. Driven by the mission to make wellness resources more accessible, Saraijah's journey is marked by her commitment to fostering positive changes in our communities. Her unique blend of academic insight and entrepreneurial zeal positions her as a catalyst for transformative conversations and initiatives that prioritizes the social and emotional well-being of individuals, particularly within marginalized communities. Everyone give a round of applause to our YAP Alumni of the Month, Saraijah Barnes, everyone.
Thank you so
All
much.
right.
I appreciate this. We
No
I'm,
problem.
I'm happy that we were able to hop on this and make it happen.
Yes. For those who are here, please chat in the comments if you can see both of us and if you can hear both of us. I want to make sure that we're not having any technical difficulties before we get into this. B for love. Lee, let me know if you can hear and see us. Let me know, girl. Let me know. All right. Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
All right. So hi, everyone. Oh, we're good. Perfect. Hi. So, everyone, my name is Jasmine Russell, marketing coordinator here at Youth Action Project. And every month we love to highlight at least one of our alumni who's used to work with us back in the days. And today we're highlighting Saraijah. And I'm so excited about honoring her today just because I was able to work with her with one of our programs called Young Leaders Incorporated, as well as with our beast mode, amazing man, Alex Avila. And this was back in 2019. So it's been a while. It's been a while. And with YLink, what's really dope is that we provide hands-on training as well as projects that are focused on outreach, digital marketing, and entrepreneurship, giving young people in-demand marketable skill sets and confidence and experience to thrive. So we're training students in everything from financial literacy, podcasting, t-shirt design and development, portfolios, entrepreneurship, web development, and just the list just goes on.
Yeah.
And so we have an alumni who was a part of that, and I'm so excited to have her. So without further ado, let's do a quick icebreaker question. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Hey, Trinix. Hey, Just Because. Welcome, y'all. So glad to see you here. All right. So you have two options. You could do one or you could do both. Okay. So
Okay.
the first question is, who is your favorite girl boss and why?
So I feel like there's many, and it's really difficult to choose from. But I think
Okay.
that those that are a little bit more modern, I would say has to be one Yara Shahidi, and
Mm.
then another is Issa Rae. Why
Yes.
them two? Yeah, I'm like I love them, and just like everyone else. But I think the importance that or the significance in their and who they are is really just kind of bridging the gap between culture and education. For
Mm-hmm.
example, when it comes to Yara Shahidi, she's a scholar, she's an educator, she is an activist, and then she also is just for the culture, for the people, and all her, yeah, and really just embracing all intersectionalities. And then so as you know, with Issa Rae, she's multilingual, and then she's also an entrepreneur, and then she incorporates some of her passions. So it really is just, I feel like embodies what, you know, being a woman is, being a person of color is, and I'm just loving that, you know, these women are embracing each intersectional identities.
They're so powerful. I was just thinking about Issa Rae. She opened up her like own coffee shop.
Yes,
Like she's not
and her
letting.
winery, or like, you know, just not winery, but her wine product, you know, it's just very
That's right.
interesting.
That's right. I totally forgot about that wine. But it just shows that we're not a monolith. Like you can do anything. There's no box that you have to remain in. If the
Yes,
sky's the limit, you want to do this, you can do that.
that's huge. That's
Okay,
huge.
one more. One more.
Yes,
All
it's
right.
just
So, what cheers you up? Like, what is something that, how do you cheer yourself up? How do you motivate yourself?
um so studies show that ultimately the most, when you wake up, it's the most influential.
Mhm.
So they say to really minimize, you know, going onto your phone first thing in the morning, just because whatever you see on your feed is really going to set the tone for the trajectory of the rest of your day. And
Mhm.
so what was really important is setting the tone for my morning, and that really helps. So we put on like my analog journal, just listening to music
Mhm.
on vinyl and really seeing people just kind of vibe out, making sure that I have my daily dose of caffeine. I love, you know, espresso, and I love coffee, and so
Yeah.
that really helps. Um, I think really keeping the blinds open and just, you know, letting
Mhm.
the fresh air come in with the windows open and seeing the sun, and really those things, in addition to speaking to one of the most important people in my life, which is my mom, and that really
Mhm.
helps set the tone for the trajectory of my day. So that really helps with cheering me up.
Oh my goodness, I love that. So I'm here getting some vitamin D. I'm here and getting the caffeine, talking to the people that you love. These are all amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, let's
So,
get into it. Okay, it's been years. I want to know, who was Saraijah back then in 2019? What brought you to YAP?
so I think the Saraijah then is the Saraijah now, just a little bit more strong in her discernment. But I
Mhm,
think that the major thing that kind of brought me into sitting at the table at White Lincoln Gap, it was really um, curiosity.
mhm,
Curiosity as far as who could I be, what could I become, what is instilled in me, how can I really get a hold of who I want to be.
mhm,
So I think that's really what brought me in, and I was thankful that I had such a close friend who introduced me. She was introduced, and she passed that along and was like, "Hey, girl, I know you really want to be an entrepreneur.
mhm.
Let me bring you in." And you know that really hit home, and I was very appreciative of her for kind of being, not being a gatekeeper, but really
Mhm.
opening up and inviting me as well.
That is key right there. Can't tell you how many people who are doing great things in the world, but they will just house all those resources and connections. So
Yeah,
kudos. Was it Deja that hooked you up?
it was Deja. Yes.
Girl, shout out to Deja
Shout out to Deja.
for sharing the resources, because it led you to us. So we're so grateful for her.
Very thankful for her.
So what were you experiencing during that time when you first got introduced to Y-Link and me and Alex and YAP?
So I think I don't. So I think when you're in 2019, I was in my first year of college, and a lot of self discovery. You know,
Mhm.
I was
Yeah.
I was entering into this quote unquote adulthood, what I thought was adulthood at the time, and was just trying to figure out like, what does this look like for
Yeah.
me? I have a father who's in law, my mother's in social work. I got my minor in law, my major in sociology, but what does it look like for me? How does Saraijah fit
Good
into this?
question. Yeah.
And so I think really at the time I was like, well, I have all these great ideas, and I was told that it was too much.
Wow.
So how do I organize it? How does it make sense in my life? How is it not too much? And so when you guys kind of, I don't know, I don't want to jump ahead, but ultimately when you guys started introducing each thing that we'll be discussing, I felt like I found my home. It was a hub of all creatives and people who had visions, and you know, they were visionaries, but we needed to learn the skill set and tools to attain these things.
Yes.
And so I felt good sitting at the table, you know, sitting at the table of hungry people who wanted to make stuff happen, you know.
Look, I got chills when you said sitting at the table. I can't tell you how many times you have an opportunity and it doesn't seem like it can be possible because no one's introducing you to the gatekeeper, and no one's inviting you to the table. So for you to say that is amazing. And I just want to give like a shout out, a moment, a pause for the visionary, because he is dope. Alex Avila, who led the cause and invited multiple students to the table to make sure that they had the resources and the training and the insight and the vision that they needed to get to where you are right now. So amazing guy. I'm so excited to know that we were part of that. So
He's a
I'm
force.
so grateful.
Of course. And I know that he knows that he is grand, but I don't necessarily know if he knows the magnitude, you know. And sometimes it takes the person who, nobody really gives ode to the person who plants the seed.
Right.
They just give ode to the fact that the seeds are there. And
Right.
I think that it's important for us to like acknowledge, you know, his vision, and it's a ripple effect. You know, so I appreciate that as well.
That's right. Seed planting. You can't grow anything without the seed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So speaking of some seeds and sowing, I wanted to know some of the life lessons that you learned with working with us, or just in life during that time.
Yeah. I learned a lot. That I think even referencing some of the topics that we discussed and how it's implemented in my entrepreneurial journey now. When we were talking a little bit about utilizing the Cricut, or utilizing or looking at web design or development and branding and all those different things. I definitely think that I learned a lot. I learned a lot. But I have like all these other things, but I really want, if you don't mind repeating the question, just because my brain went everywhere.
Yeah. So what are some of the life lessons that you learned during that time? Or it could be what you learned at YAP.
So for me, I think kind of just like me asking about that question, my processing is a little delayed sometimes. But I think that that's kind of how it looks. Is it was more so a delayed thing, and until you have to utilize the skills that you were taught, you don't necessarily know that there's skills that could be used. So
that part.
I'm realizing that, oh my goodness, you know, as a little baby chick, I'm now able to, and I was learning these things then, now I'm able to utilize what I'm learning now. And so I think for me is that what I learned, the life lesson was there's no wrong way. You know, that there's different ways to get to the end goal, and the end goal is ultimately freedom. The end goal is maybe generational wealth. The end goal is, and so that's something that I really had to kind of hone into. And so people say that it's important to surround yourself around people who are better than you. And that's how I felt sitting at the table. And I was able to learn, I was able to latch on to different methods to creativity. And so I think I'm utilizing it now. I'm sitting at a table in my life, of people who are smarter than me, who are more creative than me, who are more motivated than me, and so I think it's important because I heard this quote, and I think it was a pastor who said this, is, you don't dress for where you're at, you dress for where you're going.
Where you're going.
That's where I'm trying to set around myself, is that I need to be surrounded by people who are, where I want to be, not where I'm at.
Yes. So look, if y'all still here, can we type in freedom in the comment section? Because that's what we all want. Freedom, financial freedom, mental freedom, emotional freedom. Yes, freedom is important.
It is.
You hit it right on the nail. And I'm so, so incredibly just proud of you. Just to be able to see, I don't care if it's a delay or anything, the lessons were learned, the seeds were planted, and you were able to see the power in it and be able to nurture it to the point where you are now. So that's incredible. That's incredible. Okay, so we talked about the then, all right, because our series is YAP Alumni. Where are they now? We talked about the then, the 2019. If y'all want to see some baby pictures of Miss, check out our profile. And just, swipe. You can see some of the pictures that were taken by our photographer, Alex Avila. But we talked about the Saraijah then. Let's talk about the Saraijah now. Okay. What's going on in your life now?
That's not going on in my life.
Because we're talking about entrepreneurship, we're talking about womanhood, right? We're talking about, what else are we talking about?
I think those things. So I think for me now, I have stepped into an era where I am learning how to listen to God in my entrepreneurial journey. And sometimes it's such an interesting question. Because I feel like now as a woman and as a person, you start learning how to listen to yourself and have strong discernment in your decision making and that type of stuff. And it's important to kind of cancel out all the noise and really tune in to that alignment with purpose. And so right now I have, a business called Brown Sugar and Coffee. And ultimately we are curating wellness events. And so that may look like open mic nights. That may look like the wellness market. That is something that is probably one of our biggest events, as well as herbs and hikes. And so what that each incorporates is meeting a dimension of wellness in an untraditional setting. And so, but we're also incorporating education, socio-emotional education. So for example, at the wellness markets, we have a panel of educators, clinicians preferably, because I think with social media, we have access to information at an expedited rate, whether it is false or it is true, whether it's accurate or it's not, helpful or unhelpful. And so it's important for us to have a foundation where there's a harm reduction, that there is accurate information provided to those that are consuming the information. And so what better than educators or clinicians who have the licensure to provide that education. So in addition to that, we also offer web design. And so that's for small businesses. And so it's important because many people don't necessarily have the tools and the skill set to create it themselves, time to create it themselves, as well as the financial part to it. So we work with budgets and all that jazz. In addition, we will be having a mobile cafe. So that'll be in May.
Wow.
We'll be
That's
offering
awesome.
coffee. I just went to Tennessee for a training and meeting my wholesale partners and all that great stuff, and talking with some of the farmers and just some of um, the partnerships that they've been able to establish. So I'm really excited about that endeavor.
I'm seeing like sustainability here. I'm
Yeah,
seeing culture. I'm seeing uh, amazing wellness and providing quality to
yeah,
the people in Inland Empire. For you to go out and to work with partners and make sure that the products are amazing, that's powerful
thank
because it
you.
comes from a trusted source. It comes from someone that put in the work and the hours and the sweat equity to make
Yeah,
sure that they're providing great services. Hey, shout out to Cal State San Bernardino on here.
yeah.
We got some alumni here today.
Yay, that is super
Go
cool.
Yotes.
Hey
That's
now.
amazing. So, oh my God. So look at y'all are hopping in here. If you guys have any questions, please make sure you put them down here in the comment section. So, okay, so we are wrapping up Women's History Month, and I can't just, of course, we celebrate women, not just in a month. We celebrate women all year round, but as this particular holiday is ending, what does Women's History Month mean to you as a woman and an entrepreneur?
Yeah. So, I'm in that category of, being a transitional aged individual or youth, right?
Yes.
And so, right now I'm in a very influential space.
Mhm.
I am going through a lot of things hormonally, that really impact my mental health, my ability
Mm.
to make rational decisions, all these different things. And so I think during the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey, um, I was going through my own mental health
Mm.
imbalances or issues, in addition going through a hormonal imbalance and issues. And so being able to decipher between the two was really difficult.
Mm.
But I think I in everything that I do, I'm just an extension of my favorite person, which is my mom. And so she was definitely helpful in assisting me in balancing.
That's all. Go,
Um,
mama.
yeah, before lovely, hey, hey. But ultimately, really, she would tell me, don't make decisions when you are in certain spaces, like hormonally, when you're about to start your menstrual cycle and all those different things. But what that requires is discernment, right, and
Right.
trusting yourself. And that's not something that is just happening overnight. That is something that evolves during time, over time. And if anybody's listening to this, that is a young person, I think it's important for you to know that you're not going to get it right away.
Mm.
Listening to yourself is like a muscle. You have to train it. You have to really exercise it in order for it to kind of come naturally. And so I
Yes.
think right now, I think as a woman, I'm learning, okay, well, something's off. Whether it is, me going out and working out, it's affecting, you
Mm.
know, I don't, I'm, this is, these are for menstruating people. So I'm gonna just say this is that,
Yeah.
if something's a little off with your hormones, it may affect your mood. Your mood may affect your
Mm.
decision making. Your decision making may affect, decision making towards your business. And so
Yeah.
it's important for you to utilize your resources
Mm.
and exercise strong
Yes.
discernment. So if you have somebody who is a business partner, someone who's a mentor, someone who is also an entrepreneur and really understands your vision, and if they are aligned with your vision, then utilizing them. So I think as a woman, I'm learning how to do that, how to exercise that.
Oh my goodness. So important. So many people don't talk about that.
Yeah, because there's a lot of unknowing,
Yeah.
right, with that. And I think that's important. That's the importance of one having a wellness market. What the wellness markets are, a hub to access resources that you probably didn't even know were in your backyard. So
Yes.
And it's just really reaching out, and that's the importance of community, 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 community.
Community is everything. So, I got an opportunity to join one of your wellness events, and I've often seen them through social media, like hiking and stuff like that. But I think for me, because man, there's been some time since I've been able to do that hiking and the things I want to do. So I'm just kind of like doing baby steps. And so I attended the Riverside one most recently, and they had Afro beats, and it was so fun. I was just having a blast, and just to see that they had yoga, they had step, and then to see all these amazing local vendors. They were doing massage therapy, and they had plants, and they had IVs. They had everything, and I was just like, this is in Riverside?
Yeah.
And I didn't get an opportunity to do the panel, but just to see that we had this that, locally that's available for anyone to come. I had a little photo bomber. I had a little kid there. And just to see kids there interacting and playing games, to see that there's food, to see that there's people just wanting to connect in any other way, whether it's through wellness or through massages or, you just had, you thought of everything. That's what that feeling that I thought when I was leaving is like, you thought about everything, very intentional. And I left on cloud nine. I just felt so great. So, hey, Ho, hey, Tan. I love your events so far. I've only done one, but I'm like, I can't wait to do the next one.
There's definitely some magic in there, and it's again for the culture and the name of wellness. And so I wasn't seeing people who look like me. I'm not a size 2, 3. I definitely am one who's a little awkward in some spaces, who tries to get in their out. Yes, exactly. And it's important for when we're in those spaces, especially in the Inland Empire. There's so many unrepresented talent, resources that they end up having to travel to Los Angeles for, and it's so important that we have it here.
Oh my gosh, everything seems like it's in LA. So when I saw the events here, I was like, yes, finally someone doing great things in the Inland Empire that I could attend that are actually fun.
Yes, there's so many more. There's so many other people other businesses who end up being not seen because everything is known. And I think it's important first, look home first. Look home first. Look in your neighboring cities first. And then if it's not there, then of course go out and do your research on other events. But I think it's important for you to support locally because it's more sustainable, that you're putting your money into, your neighborhoods. And if we want better neighborhoods, we have to support locally.
Yes, I agree. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I do want to kind of talk about wellness and what does that look like and what does that mean to you, bringing that here in the Inland Empire, or even what it means as an African American woman as well.
Wellness is holistic. And it's definitely, if one is okay, so wellness is a lot of things, but I think focusing on kind of like one after the other, if nobody's aware of the dimensions of wellness, it's physical, emotional. You can look at the wellness wheel. There's approximately 8. If it affects your ability to maintain homeostasis or balance, then that's kind of what wellness is. But ultimately, I think for me as a Black woman, it's important for me to again find community. So I guess the best way that I can describe it is I had gotten diagnosed with bipolar disorder in the beginning of last year. And so, or actually 2 years ago. And ultimately, they had put me on Lexapro and Abilify. It increased my anxiety a lot. Anxiety that I didn't even know was there. I felt unrecognizable. I was just like, wait, I don't even want to go outside. I don't want to go, drive anywhere. It was just something that I could not identify with myself anymore. So then I was having a manic episode or high episode. And what that looked like was me just kind of starting different things, and my brain kind of goes everywhere. Needless to say, I started the wellness markets then, and it was in December of 2022. And so I had talked to my therapist, and he was like, "Are you sure about this? This is really big, Saraijah. This is a really big thing." And
Yeah.
ultimately, throughout the time of having a wellness market, I have not been on Lexapro. I have not been on Abilify, because what was really curing for me, yes, was being surrounded with community, in addition to being aligned with my purpose, being aligned with the professionals that are needed. So I also got diagnosed with PCOS around the same time of my diagnosis with that. So if you kind of, I mean, if you guys kind of want to know a little bit more, we can talk a little bit off of this. But it was important for me to kind of bring the people that I knew could support me into my holistic healthcare network, and the network was me. So I think that that's really important. That's what wellness looks like for me, is utilizing the resources, being aligned within my purpose, having strong discernment in what I am needing. And what I am needing is a hormone specialist, or somebody who is able to help me with OBGYN, in addition to having a therapist or a psychiatrist kind of know what's needed for my chemical imbalance or balance. So I think that's kind of just a synopsis of what wellness looked like for me in my life.
I love that you were able to be so in tuned and listening to your body, and then being able to listen to it and question, like, is this normal for me? And then being able to go out and use your community and the resources that you needed in order to get answers. That was so powerful. And I thank you for your transparency in talking about these, because I know that many times people don't talk about mental illness or talk about health issues or anything. And so we have people that are literally silently suffering, especially the Black community. And they don't realize that they have people, an array of people who are experiencing the same exact thing that they're experiencing it, but they're not talking about it. And so I feel like there's such danger in keeping silent and suffering, instead of using the resources, the experts in the community that's there for you. And you tapped into that. You tapped into wellness, something that you feel very passionate in. And we don't diagnose. This is all for information purposes, of course, and this is our individual opinions when it comes to health. I just want to put that out there. Please, consult with your doctors and your parents if you're minors. But our individual stories are powerful, and they need to be talked about. And so I appreciate you sharing this, and I'm hoping that it's going to be healing people as they hear it, so they don't feel alone, and that they feel equipped through your example, so that they can get the resources that they need.
Yes, thank
So thank you.
yeah.
Miss B for Lovely, she said, so many greats are diagnosed with a mental illness. So proud that you aligned with your greatness. Let's change the narrative. Yes, yes.
That's my
Powerful.
mom.
Oh, I love it. Hey, mama. Yes, let's change the narrative. Let's talk. Let's have these difficult or crucial conversations, so that we can be a community that's of safe spaces and healing and empathy and non-judgment. Amen. All right. Oh, Miss B for Love, you bringing church today. All right. So let's see if we have any questions. I just want to make sure I don't forget anybody. Okay, good. Okay. Okay, I have two questions, but the first one, second to last one, what are questions that you wish that people did ask when it comes to wellness, mental health, or just even as a Black woman or entrepreneur?
Ooh, that was a good one. I wish that they would ask, why.
Mm.
I wish that they would ask why. Why is such an important question to ask. Without a why, things are not things are collapsible. Things are not sustainable. And so when people come into having, like, thinking about wellness is now a little bit more of a trend. I say that lightly because people will try to like utilize it and kind of exploit this terminology, making things not sustainable. But I think it's important when kind of going into this space of what wellness is, or financial wellness, or emotional wellness. Why is it important? Why is it important, not necessarily for everyone else and who's exercising it, but why is it important for me? And so when people are able to come up with a why, they can end up and they create this, answer. Why is because I want to connect with my inner child, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Then sometimes what we do as humans is we talk ourselves out of a lot of things, right?
That's true.
And so we say, well, my inner child likes to dance, right? But girl, you don't look the same as when you used to dance, right? But then it's like, wait, but why not? Why can I not dance, right?
Who told
And so when we
you couldn't?
that thwarted belief, then I think we can have more of a productive conversation. Well, dang, why not? Again, I don't know why not. Why shouldn't, And so I think then that kind of uses that as like a motivating factor. It kind of uses that why not answer is more gas or ammunition to get you where you go. So I think that when you're entering the space, think about why and why not.
I love that. I think that's so powerful. It's so simple, but so powerful. I think about how, and I'll just speak for myself, but I can have analysis over paralysis. Have you heard that concept? Where I can have a fun idea, or like a cool, like, oh, this would be so cool for me to do, or maybe this should be my next venture or something like that. And I can think about all the different things I got to do to the point where I literally think myself out of it. Or I can think about someone else is doing it already. They're more amazing at it. And I was like, why not me? Why not add to this? Why shouldn't I do it? Who told me I couldn't do it? Nevertheless, I think that if we spent time on all the good that can happen opposed to all the bad that could happen, my goodness, that would change our mindset and probably allow us to become entrepreneurs, or get a new job, or start dancing, or do incredible things. So I like that. Why not? Why not?
Well, you also start thinking about, let's say, for example, my favorite is coffee shops, right? So with coffee shops, okay, yes, we all may have a coffee shop, but what do we typically go for is the aesthetic, the vibe, the origin of wherever it's created,
smell.
maybe. Yeah, the smell of it, the interactions that may have come from this place, the thoughts that may have come up for me while I was sitting here. There's a coffee shop. I'm not really fond of their coffee, but but the thing is that I had a memory there. I was really sad one day. I saw the sun above, and I was like, dang, this is beautiful. This makes me feel joy. This brings me back to feeling alive. So maybe I'm not going to get a coffee there, but I'm going to get a slushie, or what is that slushie? A smoothie. But ultimately, there's so much more. And so the goal, the reason for me saying this is that there may be a similar idea, but it's not the same. And you are different. We are different, and so people are going to come for the energy. People are going to come for the memories. People are going to come for the relationships that were established in the atmosphere that you created.
Yeah, because no one can be you. No one has the same mindset, the same upbringing, the same experiences, right? Yes, everyone is different. Yeah, I agree. Come on. All right. So please tell the people how they can follow you, any upcoming events, how they can get connected.
Yeah. So as far as the wellness market, we're kind of still figuring out the date and solidifying the location, but it will be in May. So stay tuned for that. But our upcoming Herbs and Hikes hike is actually going to be at Etowanda Falls on every second Saturday of the month. So it'll be, what is the second Saturday of April?
Ooh, let me see. Second Saturday of April?
Second Saturday. It is the
That's
13th. Thank
the
you.
13th. Yeah.
So the 13th of April. So please, we'll provide a synopsis of what the hike entails, things that you should prepare for. If you're kind of like, I'm a little apprehensive,
Mm-hmm.
we have a crew that is available. They are so cool. The types of people that end up coming to the hikes. We end up having like juices from small businesses that have vended with us, and that type of stuff. So please be connected, as well as my Instagram. I have my partner here who's also helping me. Yep. That ultimately with my Instagram, that is brown sugar, N as in Nancy, coffee, and then that is my Instagram. My website is being updated right now, but it will be brownsugarcoffee.com. We actually just filed to be a nonprofit this week, actually. So I'm so excited about that. But yeah, thank you so much, YAP, as well as Chasney, for really inviting me here.
Of course. We love you. We love what you're doing, what you're bringing to the Inland Empire. We're so proud of you. You definitely are worthy of this alumni of the month. Y'all
Thank you.
make sure that you're connected, that you follow her so that you can know when the May is coming. And then so you can participate in the upcoming hike. We are all about wellness, right? Healing, creating safe spaces. This is so important. And then the entrepreneurial journey for our young people. We just ended our Young Leaders Incorporated Business and Beyond program, where high school youth were learning how to turn their passion into profit. They were able to not only learn entrepreneurship and marketing, as well as artificial intelligence, but they were able to get $100 towards their business for graduating. And so now our students are one step closer to starting their own businesses, which is dope. And so just to have a fellow entrepreneur here that's doing big things in the Inland Empire, young people, learn from her. See what you can do. Mental health is not a barrier. Okay. You can actually do great things. You just got to have a community. Okay. So Brown Sugar is part of that community. And here at YAP, we're part of that community too. So make sure that you're tagged in, that you're signing up for a newsletter, that you are following us here on Youth Act Project. Also following us on YouTube, as well as Facebook, LinkedIn, and of course here on Instagram, to stay tuned and see how all the upcoming events and programs that we have to help you become successful, or even more successful than you are now. Okay. But again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your vulnerability. Some things that I got out of this was just like, invite people to the table. There is power in transparency. There is power in community. And then ask, why not? Why not? Why not me? That's so powerful. So thank you so much for leading us in all of that. And again, everyone, thank you for being here. Appreciate your time, and have a great rest of the day. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Chasney.
Thank you. Bye.